What's up, guys? Thanks for all the support in the first 2 videos and all the social platforms. This video, we're just going to kind of talk about our story of trying to conceive over the past year. It wasn't the easiest journey as we thought it was going to be starting last October. Yeah, so let's jump into it. Start it off.
We started trying last October, and we didn't get our first positive until September. So from October of testing through September of testing, it was nearly almost a full year. It was probably one of the longest years of our life, and I would just say because of the waiting and the constant not knowing, like
our mindset in the beginning was not very educated.
Yeah.
We thought you baby dance, you have a baby.
Yeah, we had the mindset of you do it, you have a baby. Like we had that mindset. And so the first month, whenever we got that negative, we were just like, well, maybe it's just too early. Like, it's the first month. Like, we weren't expecting it. We were expecting it to happen, but we weren't. Like, deep down inside, we're like, oh, there could be a possibility of it not. And then the second month, when we tried and we got a negative, we were just like, well, okay, maybe the next month. And it wasn't really until like the third month that it like hit, because by then, like 3 months of trying, that's
the holidays were over. It was the new year. Things were slowing down, so we were focusing more on that than anything.
We're focusing more on that. And so what I did was I started taking prenatals, and that was like the first start of it.
And I
then,
started taking the
he started taking, I bought like a double pack of the 1-a-day vitamins for the prenatals for the women and then for men. So he was taking his. So we were taking those, and we were just like, you know, maybe this will help, and just try not to stress about it, which is very hard to do whenever it's not happening, even if it's in the early stages or not. And what also makes it harder to like not stress about it either is people always asking like, when are you gonna have a baby? Like any family function that we got around, friends, family, just anything. Like anytime, we always had somebody asking us like, when are you gonna have a baby? When are you gonna have a baby? And it's just hard because it's like, do we tell them we're trying or do we not? Because we knew if we told them we were trying, it was probably going to be the constant question of, has it happened yet? Has it happened yet? Or, you know, whatever it may be. And so it was like either way we were going to get questioned, but it was almost like we wanted to have that moment to ourselves and didn't necessarily want like everybody to know that we were trying. We did tell like a few select friends, but
like friends that could like be positive to us and really care. Like the ones that really cared that would be there for us.
And we knew our family would be there for us. It was just hard. And
it's easier to relate with your friends.
Yeah, it was for us personally. I know with some people it may not be, but for us it was. And even then it was still hard because you constantly have people asking like, well, have you gone to the doctors yet? Like, have you gone to see if something's wrong? And it's just like, no. Like, you start to do the research and then you realize that most women don't conceive until like at least after a year or within their first year or things like that. So you try to remain hopeful, and then when you have people saying, oh, well, you probably should schedule a doctor's appointment, or you probably should go to the doctor, it makes you feel like something's wrong with you. And
which
so
we eventually
which we did eventually do that, but it was just hard because you have people saying that to you, or you just have them saying, you know, it's all in God's timing, it's all in God's timing, it'll happen for you, all in God's timing. And that's also true, like, but that's stating the obvious. Like, we know it's in God's timing, but so to have someone constantly like tell you that over and over again, it just kind of like, it just becomes like a little bit draining. Or even it'll happen when it's supposed to happen, or oh my gosh, you all are so young, you still have your whole life ahead of you. Like, it was just constantly hearing stuff like that even made it hard too. So our journey was just very hard, and I didn't make it easier on myself either, because I
stayed watching YouTube videos about girls finding out they're pregnant, announcing it, and like I'd be like, why are you watching this? It's seriously making you more sad.
Which it was happy at first. When I would watch all those videos, it was so happy. And I was
until it wasn't happening to you.
Yeah, and I was still happy for them. Like, I was happy for them and happy to watch the video, but it was just upsetting to me because I was like, why isn't it happening for me if it's happening for them? And that's what made it even more difficult, because it's just like, why do people have to struggle with infertility? It's just like, why does that have to happen? Why does that have to be a thing? Even though we only struggled for a year, it was like extremely tough. Like, it beat me down. It like caused me to fall into this funk. Like, me and Chance like talked about moving, and he was shocked when I brought that up.
I was down for it because Des, when we started dating, she was like, I'm never moving away from our family, from my family. So when she said that, I started looking immediately at like Denver and Dallas. Those are the first places we thought of. And this was right before, like, I would say this was in May.
Yeah.
And that's when Des started like really locking down and like doing like her own research, and she started tracking her own cycles. We got her calendar right there. It's like she literally bought a bunch of tests and like tracked it all, and then wrote like little notes of like, I don't know, I didn't look at it that much.
I just felt like when my darkest day was, when my lightest day was.
I thought it was just weird because she would have like all these little sticks on the counter, just like.
I had them underneath like plastic.
Okay,
they
plastic,
just
but it was just
on
kind of
top of the counter. But no, it was very, very hard. And so I just tried to remain positive, but unfortunately it ate me alive to the point where I did want to move. And so we talked about that. That was extremely difficult, but we're still here. Yep. And we're not moving or anything like that. It was just something, that's how far I fell into like such a dark place. And then I started just continuing doing research. We had doctor's appointments scheduled, went to those.
I didn't.
In September, the very beginning of September, I finally like had felt at peace. Like, I don't know what it was. I know it was God, but I had felt at peace. And so I had a friend who's going through the same struggles of infertility. She started journaling. And so that inspired me to start journaling about it. And so I was writing letters to our future baby. And in that first letter, that's when I genuinely felt like extremely at peace. Like, I read my like letter to my baby to Chance, and it made him emotional. Like, it was so genuine.
That was around the time that we went to the other church.
Yeah. And so right after that, my friend Brianna, she had asked me a couple times if I wanted to go and try their church, and I just kind of been hesitant about it. Like, we had thought about visiting, but we were really established at the church that we currently go to. And she was like, well, you can just come and visit. Like, you don't have to just, start coming all the time. She was like, just come and visit and see, how you like it. And so I was like, okay. And so we went and visited their church. And during that service, the pastor, who was an amazing pastor, was talking about speaking the things that you want in life to happen and bring them into existence. Like, he said, lace up your shoes and go and just speak those things into existence. And so he started like giving and listing examples. And one of his examples were that baby that y'all have been praying for. Well, not examples, but the thing that he said. He was like, that baby that y'all have been praying for, go out and buy that crib. And I after he said that, I just couldn't even focus anymore. Because I'm like, what? Like, what are the odds? Like,
we got out of church that day and Dad was like, are we buying a crib?
Yeah.
Because she knew that we looked at each other when he said that.
I was like, okay, that was crazy. Like, I couldn't get over that. I was like, we were going to change our mind about going that morning. And something was like, no, like, we're going to church. Like, we're going to go try our church.
So, can I resume with that? So right up to that, we talked about buying a crib. And I was going to Dallas. And at that Target in Dallas, they had the crib that we wanted. I was going to film a wedding down there, and so we bought the crib.
Yeah, so we bought the crib, and it was...
We're like, we're going to put a crib in a room. We're getting our guest furniture out of that room, and we're just going to put a crib in there. And, like, we're going to manifest it, and God's going to help it speak into our life. And while I'm down there buying that, I come back. You can tell the rest because you got a better outline of it.
Oh my gosh. Well, I had found out that I was pregnant, and then when I came home, because I literally found out at work, when I came home, he was like, hey babe, I bought the crib. And I was like, oh my God, like, we bought the crib, and then I find out that I'm pregnant, like, all in one day.
Still had no idea. She didn't tell me.
It was insane. And this crib was at the Target in Dallas. And so since he had that wedding, he was going to go pick it up. And I was like, that is insane. Like, I just found out that I'm pregnant, and he's going to go to Target, buy the crib, and then come back with it, and I'm going to tell him. And so I started planning everything out on Saturday since he was in Dallas. I went and I got all the balloons, and I got the onesie made. I got the little board set up to do the test. I had it planned out with his friend how I wanted to do it, which his friend didn't end up participating because Chance ended up coming home at 5:33 in the morning to surprise me. I was going to
surprise Des coming home, driving through the night, and not staying in Dallas.
So I got no sleep. I tracked his location all night long to see whenever he was going to finally come, and it was just so crazy, the whole thing. And so I got to surprise him at 5:33 in the morning.
That was at 5:30 in the morning. I really drove longer than 5 hours because I pulled over and slept for like 30 minutes at a time because I was just so dead from filming that wedding all day. But yeah, y'all seen that video before this one. Mainly we wanted to talk about this and just talk about like our journey of a year that felt like forever, and just the people that are struggling with infertility or whatever it is. Just stay positive and your time will come. Don't get down on yourself, and just stay positive overall, right?
Yeah. And I did have a lot of people ask like what we did different that month, and honestly that's why I truly believe that it was just all in God himself, because we didn't stop. We went to a bachelorette party and we just weren't able to. Like, we went to a bachelorette party with friends and there was just no way that it was going to happen because we were staying in two separate, like, we're staying in Dallas but in two separate areas. So like,
Airbnbs, we're into it.
It just wasn't going to happen. So when I found out that I was pregnant, I was just like, what? Like, I didn't even, like, I guess whenever we did baby dance, I didn't realize I was ovulating. Like, I didn't think that I was. And because my tests were honestly being like very strange. And so we just had no idea. So it was completely insane that was the 1 month that we didn't like full on like
commit
to it, because we just knew that there was no way with us being in Dallas on my week of ovulation that it was going to happen. And it did. So God's amazing. I guess he saved that little swimmy and made it happen. So.
Why you gotta word it like that?
I don't know what else to say.
But anyways, we just want to tell y'all, stay positive. Thank you for the support across all the social platforms. That like TikTok, like the feedback we've gotten from that is amazing. So thank y'all. Yeah. Anything you want to say?
It was so amazing. All the like amount of support that we've received from Facebook, from our families and friends, Instagram from our families and friends, and then TikTok from complete strangers was just like seriously the best feeling ever. Like, just having people be just so genuine with their congratulations and everything like that was just so important to us. And hearing other people's stories, it just really made me so emotional. So good luck to all those out there still trying to conceive. We are praying for y'all and praying for the best, and we just want to thank y'all for everything that y'all have told us and all the kind words, and we just look forward to continuing doing a channel.
Follow our lifestyle right here. Subscribe, and we'll see y'all later.
Yes, subscribe. Bye, guys.
Bye.